the Women's Super League champions.
The most amazing day for the Leeds Rhinos.
Warrington dominating.
Great try from the Robins. Huddersfield Giants take the points home.
He missed it! He's a poor lad.
That is one sensational try.
3 in a row. The Saints, the three-peat is achieved. An 8th grand final win for the Red Bee.
Hello and welcome to The Last Tackle. I'm delighted to welcome to the studio Kevin Brown and Paul Sculthorpe. But this weekend, Rugby League came together to pay its respects to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And the sport will continue to pay its respects before the funeral, of course, which is of Monday. We've got the playoffs this weekend and the women's final and playoffs in League One and the Championship. It's a big weekend for Rugby League. Kevin, it was impeccable minute silence, not just at Huddersfield, but in France as well.
It was fantastic. I was really happy that the sport got to show its respect. And obviously some other sports chose the decision not to play, but Rugby League fans, broadcasters, clubs, players, I thought, to a man, it was impeccable.
Yeah, fantastic. Totally agree with Kev. I'm glad the games went ahead and we got the opportunity, you know, as a sport to celebrate, obviously, you know, Queen Elizabeth, and, you know, a sad passing, but, you know, done in the right way.
Obviously, it's a very, very sad few days and it's a very, very sad occasion, but Kevin, it felt right to play, to me.
Yeah, I think the Queen loved the sport. She was a patron up until 2015, and, you know, I think she would have wanted that. I think the sport is a working class towns, and, you know, it shows the spirit, and she was always, you know, at the heart of the spirit. So great leader, and I thought it was fantastic respect.
And obviously we've just shown the scenes from Huddersfield versus Sulphur, but those scenes were done in all the grassroots games as well, and all the junior rugby did a minute silence as well.
Yeah, it was the first time my son's done a minute silence. He played on Sunday, and
he'll never forget that, will he?
And we spoke about it. He wouldn't have understood if his football game got called off. He was just disappointed. Why has it been called off? Didn't get it. When we did the minute silence, we spoke about it in the car. We all got upset, and I think, you know, across the country, Rugby League showed the way how to show the respect, and that's what's great about the game.
Yeah, like you said, them youngsters will remember that day, you know, paying their respects to the Queen, and, you know, it's far more important than games getting cancelled, like saying, and kids being disappointed. You know, I think the game led the way in showing that.
And Rugby League will pay its respect once again this weekend, and we have got 2 cracking playoffs to look forward to. Let's just reflect on the 2 playoffs that we had on Friday and Saturday. Leeds done it again from 5th. We're in the semis.
And they're dangerous. 9 out of 10. They're finding a way to win. I think, you know, Blake Austin and Aidan Caesar, we expected them to click this year, and they didn't, but they are now. And it's a sort of funny combination what they're going with. The Jared O'Connor at 9, you can see the value in defence. Jared's running around making 1,000 tackles, and Cruz is coming on at the back end of the game and really, you know, competing hard as well for that spot. But I just feel Leeds are a danger. But disappointing end for Steve Mack and Catalan. They've limped into the playoffs. 4 games out of 10 they've won. And I just thought they were poor. I thought the senior players, especially their experience, just lost their heads. Mitchell Pearce, you know, he's done everything in the game. He's one of the players you expect to be calm. He got sent at sin bin twice. Gill got sent off. So yeah, they just lost their heads.
It was dramatic, but it was ugly, wasn't it? At times.
It was ugly, and I think that ugliness and that frustration with the ball, you know, seeped over into the defence and the discipline. And, you know, Steve Mack said after the game how frustrated he was, and you could see that amongst the group. I thought Sam Tompkins was underdone. I didn't think he was fit or match fit. I'm not sure. He didn't, you know, provide the outcomes that we expect with Sam. And they missed Drinkwater. I think, you know, that was a tactical, ploy, but it just didn't work for me.
Rewind to February and March. Leeds looked a million miles off against a semi-final now against Wigan.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the two teams that have gone through from the bottom of the playoff pile. Salford and Leeds, and early in the year you could have said both of them and no chance of making the playoffs. And how the season's turned around, obviously Leeds with Rowan Smith coming in and the
done a cracking job, hasn't he?
He has done a cracking job. He's clearly pulled the players together. I thought against Castleford, Leeds looked a bit chaotic and they looked like a team that thought they could score at every opportunity and just lacked that that ability to settle things down. They got the win, and that was purely from the quality of player that they've got, and you've got a feel for Castleford. But now, you say going over to Catalan and coming from fifth place to turn Catalan over, who I agree with Kev, have just withered away through the back end of the year.
Your two old clubs met on Saturday. Before we talk about Salford, how do you think Huddersfield will look back on this season? I mean, they were just a couple of minutes away from the Challenge Cup. It's the first playoffs in 7 years. Will they look back later on and think
we've blown it? I think they think that we've blown it. They should have won the Challenge Cup final. I thought they were too conservative in that game. They put the ball in the corner. Sometimes they just ran the ball in the corner. Tommy Lulu, I spoke to him at the game and he said, this is a carbon copy of how they played. It's almost like not to lose. Yeah. Salford went out there to win, and I feel they'll look back and think, we've blown the cup, we should have beat... So they worked so hard to get a home draw against the team below them who you expect to win, spend a lot more money than, and it's 28-0. So I think they'll be disappointed. They've been good consistently through the year, but the big games matter. The big players should stand up, and they didn't. I
think that's the thing with Huddersfield. I think they've been too safe. Everybody talks about them completing sets and doing that. Sometimes you've got to chance your arm to turn that into points. And I agree with Kev of some of the kicks, like to the corners. It was like, we want to finish the set there, not we want to score points. And for me, that's disappointing. And you don't win games by doing that when you get to the business end of the season.
And Paul Rowley would have known exactly what would come in. It's not changed. It's been so consistent. Kick to the corners. And I think for Salford, they have Laffey, Seo, Burgess, then Watkins, offload, and Brodie Croft. What a sensational first 30 minutes he had.
And what a blow that he's not going to be in the semi-final.
I think a massive blow for Salford, and for me at half-time that was a massive blow for Salford then. And it was, how did they respond the second half? Well, they responded by winning 16-0 in the second half, by Mark Sneed, Andy Ackers taking control of that, and Salford were outstanding.
Let's give a bit of praise for Salford. They've been fantastic of late, and to win 28-0 in an eliminator is some going.
To the quality, they've took all the best players from Salford. Let's not forget that. They've took the coach. They've bought the best players in. Lola here has been one of the standouts. Yates, the captain of the club, and little Salford have regrouped under Paul Rowley, and he's slowly started to build how he wants them to attack. And it's not just the way they're winning. 9 out of 10 games, so they're the form team in the competition. But it's the way they're playing. I think they're as entertaining as anyone. They take risks, but it's a different style of play. Normally you have yardage and then good ball, but there is no yardage. It's just play eyes up, get the ball to these quick Rolls Royces on the edges and make some space.
I think they took away a lot of what other teams are doing in regard to real structured play, but they're doing it. And sometimes when you go away from that structure and you chance your arm and you play what's in front of you, you can come up with errors. But what Salford are doing, they're doing that with the skill level to match that. They're completing sets. They're being clinical with the ball. And because of that, the chancing their arm and playing what's in front of them, it's turning that into points. And I thought they were outstanding.
Right, couple of cracking semi-finals to look forward to. First up on Friday, it's Wigan versus Leeds. Wigan, of course, have had the week off. Let's hear from their coach, Matty Peat.
I'm sure playoffs would have almost been kind of minimum expectation for Wigan coming into the season. You've achieved that. Comfortable, happy with where you are going into what's coming?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think we've had a decent run through the season. Obviously, we managed to get the Challenge Cup along the way and found some form since then. It's been an enjoyable year for sure, but it's all building up to this period now, and we've put ourselves in a decent position. managed to earn the week off. So yeah, there's a lot to be excited about.
How much will you benefit from that Challenge Cup experience played in those big knockout games over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think we will. Particularly we've got quite a lot of young players who that was the first experience not only of either getting to a big game, winning a semi-final, but managing to win. And we managed to win in some surreal circumstances where we didn't get our best performance, but hopefully the next time we play in knockout games we can put a better level performance out.
Tonight, I tell you what, won the Challenge Cup, which we've discussed. What a job he's done this year.
Oh, I think if they lose on Friday, it'll still be a successful year. As disappointed as
I think the old Wigan's back in some way, isn't it?
Back well, and they're entertaining. It's an entertainment industry, and Jay Field and Bevan French, there's no one else been as entertaining. But Leeds are a threat, a big threat, because they've been so poor. No one expected them to be here, midway through the season until Rowan Smith took over. I just feel, obviously Wigan are favourites, they've not been beaten at home, but there's a big danger this Leeds team turn up, it's a free hit, and Wigan go out, and limp out. Is
Rowan Smith's team taught easier in many respects?
Oh, I think so, yeah. I think the pressure's sort of off him. He's another one, I think, if he was here a bit longer, I think he'd be a nominee for Coach of the Year. I think he's been fantastic. So his job's just to make him confident, but when you win 9 of your last 10 games, you are confident. So I think they'll go there. I think Blake Austin and Aidan Caesar will throw the ball around. And they've got some big middles too, so I think they'll take it to Wigan physically.
No Reece Martin again for Leeds. We did try and appeal the decision. No Harry Newman and no Jack Walker, which we know about. How big a bonus, because obviously you've been it, seen it, done it, how big a bonus is that week off at this stage of a season?
Yeah, I think certainly this year with having that double Easter weekend period, so some tough games, and I think we've seen it
with double header at the end of August.
Back end of August is a tough part of the year anyway to double up and do that. What we talk about is always a tough time at Easter anyway, and I think we've seen that with some of the injuries that have happened. That the players that are missing, back end of the year. So that weekend, that week off is a massive bonus at this time of the year for Wigan. I just think Wigan are a team that this part of the year, big games, they're a big game club. They're a very, very resilient, whether they're playing well or not, they're always in the mix. And I think we've seen that. We saw it in the semi-final of the Challenge Cup against Saints. They're a big game team, that turn up. And I just think Wigan are favourites going into this game.
I'll get your predictions a little later, but let's just turn our attention to the next semi-final, which is on Saturday lunchtime at St Helens. We know Christian Wolff is going. Can he make it 3 grand final wins on the bounce?
I know you're going to want to not make the next few weeks about you as an individual. Having said that, you've got an opportunity to leave this country and leave St Helens. 3 seasons, 3 grand final wins. How much of an achievement would that be if you could do that?
Oh, look, it'd be something I'd look back on and be extremely proud of, and I'll be extremely proud of everything that I've experienced over here and everything that I've been a part of over here, and obviously that success has been a massive part of that. But you're right in what you said at the start. It's not about me. I'm a small part of a very motivated and very special group that have achieved everything that they've achieved because they are a special group. And I look at blokes like James Roby and all that he's achieved. Johnny Lomax, the list goes on. Alex Swarmsley, Morgan Knowles, Jack Wellesby, Tommy Makinson, those kinds of players that we've got here. And the reason that they've had the success that they've had, and the reason they've been able to have that continued success, is because it's not about any individual. It's not about how James Roby or Johnny Lomax want to play or what they want to do. It's about what suits the team, what's best for the team. And Johnny's probably a real prime example of that this year, in that he's changed positions, he's changed how he plays, and he's done that for the greater good, because we've lost other players that have meant that if he doesn't want to do that, then we don't have the success that we can have as a team and that we put ourselves in a position to have as a team. And it's a great example of the ethos of the team, and I'm just a small part of that.
So Christian Wolff will be going back to Australia after the World Cup. Right. Unfortunately, I don't think any of us were surprised, were we, that he was going to go back to Australia?
No, I don't think so. I think,
and let's be fair to him, it's been tough while he's been over here because of COVID restrictions. he's not been able to go back, has he?
Yeah, it's been a tough few years, hasn't it? It's obviously been a very, very successful one, and I know personally, one that Christian's enjoyed. I think there's an opportunity to come up there clearly with the Dolphins. It's where Christian's from, and it's a great opportunity for him. Does it pose a great opportunity for somebody else in his place? But he'll want to go out, no doubt, with a grand final win.
Obviously, people were disappointed when Justin left, but he cracked on, hasn't he?
He has. He brought his own philosophies in. I know there was, changes early on from what had been a successful era under Justin as well. But clearly, Christian has done a fantastic job and very different than Justin. I know he's very defence led, and I think you see that in some of the steel, the Saints defence. The aggression, the line speed that he's instilled in them, and that for me is something that they've kind of maybe fell off a bit, the last couple of months for whatever reasons, changes in the team, injuries, suspensions. Also, finishing top spot that allows you to move your team about in time for
takes pressure off a bit
for
as well,
games like this. This is a game now that he picks his best side, he gets his best players out there. Hopefully, a few returning, Matt Percival, Sione Matautia. But it's do or die football now.
Listening to him, I think he'll want to beat you at a game of Conkers as well, won't he? I think he's that competitive is Christian Wolff, isn't he?
He is. You speak to the other staff as well, and I know Christian, and he is competitive. 100%. You can see that in him. You can see, I believe he's like that with his own training and competitiveness, and that comes over with the team, the way he wants the team to play, the ruthlessness of the team, and hopefully, they turn it on Friday.
He's obviously going for 3 on the bounce. Saints are going for 4 on the bounce. I'm not going to ask him because obviously we won't get an unbiased answer. So how good has this Saints side been in recent years?
They're as good as I've seen. I think one of the best things about them is that when they've had so many injuries, they've still found a way to win or compete, even with a decimated side with lots of reasons and excuses to be poor. They've not been. And I think the one thing that a Christian Wolff side always has, regardless of who's playing, is effort and energy and physicality. And it's almost the perfect blueprint for other clubs where you have almost the best attacking coach of a decade in Justin Albrook, followed by the best defensive coach. You end up with this super team of St Helens. And just going back to what Scully said before, for whatever reason, they've not been able to keep that aggression. It's almost impossible to do it. We spoke about how the condensed fixtures are, and I think if anyone gets the benefit out of the week off, it's Saints, because some of the players, Opoati, Percival, Makinson, Matautia, coming back, it's just going to make a massive difference for them.
I think they'll be fresh, won't they? But one of Christian's best legacies, I think, is like you said, is that rotation of squads and some of the players that he's brought through. Your John Bennisons, your Jake Winfields, players like that who fitted in and developed their own game. So wider strengthening the strength within the St Helens team.
A huge blow personally, but also a huge blow as well for St Helens and England. No, Alex Walmsley.
Yeah, that's
a
massive blow both for Saints, obviously in the run into the grand final, and obviously England, with the World Cup in October, November. He's by far the best prop in the competition, and it is a massive loss. It's one that somebody has got to step up at Saints, certainly in these next few weeks to fill them boots. And we've got a few players there. Matty Lees is outstanding as well, but Alex Walmsley is a loss for any team.
Well, when Saints aren't attacking great, they just give him the ball, and often he just runs over some side defenders. So they're going to lose points. Where, as daft as it sounds, a front row are not playing, but that intimidation factor when he carries the ball off his line as well. I'm gutted as an England fan that he's not, because he is a starter and he's one that's straight on, and the Aussies will be grateful that he's not playing.
The thing is, he's that big. Like Kev says, you can be on the back foot, you can give it Alex, and he can get you that momentum. Get you on that front foot, and I'm sure you'd love to be a hooker, wouldn't you, behind Alex Walmsley.
And just very quickly, we know he's going round again, James Roby. I was at the Toulouse game. You weren't playing great against Toulouse, and then Roby came on and he looked a far better side.
I think it's just his influence, just him being in and around the players and his presence and his calming influence as well. It's not always necessarily about what he does with the ball in hand, but he's obviously a very, very smart footballer, but it's just his leadership amongst that group as well.
Right, you've got about a couple of minutes to think about your predictions, okay? Obviously, I know you're going to predict on the Saturday game, but I want you to have a think and get your predictions. But it's not just about the playoffs and the Betfred Super League. The race for promotion is hotting up in League One, and you can watch it live right here on the Sportsman. So we're bringing the North Wales Crusaders versus Rochdale Hornets on Saturday at 5:15, and we can also confirm we'll be showing the Betfred League One playoff final live on the weekend of 2nd of October.
Don't miss a thing from the new home of Rugby League Online.
Follow the Sportsman on social media
and follow their YouTube channel for exclusive content.
Yeah, so look out for that game on Saturday night. Right, I've given you a couple of minutes to have a think. Right then, Wigan versus Leeds. Tell us what the game's going to be like and give us a prediction.
I'm worried about this one. I want Wigan to win, but the last time they played, Leeds dominated and they went after Jayfield and Bevan French. The only team to probably do that in the last couple of months. They were aggressive. Wigan will have to come up with something different this time, or Leeds will win for me. But I do think at home, Wigan will just edge it closely.
Yeah,
Wigan Leeds.
I think it's going to be a great game. I think if Leeds have any chance, I think Blake Austin and Aidan Caesar have got to take control of this game. I've seen in the past few weeks there's times where they've gone missing and Leeds have looked a bit shoddy on attack. I just think, as I said before, we're going to just have that resilience to show up on big occasions. If they get on that front foot, they've got the strike to score points, but it's their defence and home advantage. I think it's a Wigan win.
Now, just remember, Sulphur fans did like you. St Helens versus Sulphur.
Saints fans have never liked him, so...
Well, off air before, Scully was saying Salford, so I'll go against him. And I can't go against Saints at home. I'd back them over any team. I think they've earned the right to get the respect off everyone. And I think if they went into an underdog, I just couldn't see it unless it was against an Australian club. I think they're that good.
And how big a blow is no Brodie Croft?
Massive. In terms of your replacement, Chris Atkin, fantastic player. But what Brodie Croft brings Salford is very similar to what Scully mentioned about Robes. He calms everyone down. Everyone else plays better just because the confidence is at the side of him. He was in a purple patch, so you've got to feel sorry for him. He's come over, played well. He's played himself into a position to get a real big game and test himself against the best. Got an head knock and can't play, but Salford still played well without him, so I do think Saints, but I don't think it'll be easy.
Come on then, St Helens versus Salford.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd love to have seen Brodie Croft out there, because I think Salford are going into this game absolutely red hot, and I do think he makes that much of a difference. Yeah, they were an outstanding second half performance without him, but I think to beat Saints, who have been undoubtedly the best team over a number of years, but the league leaders for a reason, they've been the best team this year as well. I just think if Saints perform, they win the game.
Now, there's a huge game at St Helens on Sunday as well. It's the grand final for the Betfred Women's Super League. It's York versus Leeds. It's live on Sky at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. The women's game is just growing and getting better and better. This should be a very, very good final, York versus Leeds. Oh,
it'd be fantastic, and I think the rivalry that they're getting now, I think there's a few that swapped over from clubs, and yeah, I think York, they're really getting behind that club now. Clint, the new owner, is really getting behind the women's team, and it's fantastic to see. I think, the games itself, it's almost like, a throwback. There's not as much wrestle, it's more attacking. Sometimes it's better to watch, so I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, look, I know Saints have not made it. They made it to semi-finals. You know what the Women's Rugby League means to Saints now. It's going to be at St Helens, but it's just brilliant the profile the women's game's getting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and you know, take my Saints hat off. It's nice to see Saints not there, you know, and more strength in depth within the competition, and what a game it's going to be, York and Leeds. But as you said, the women's game is just growing from strength to strength. I think the involvement, you know, within the women's game, you know, the improvement and the skill levels, and obviously the profile that's come along with that. It's great to see, and you know, looking forward to what it's going to be a great World Cup as well for the women.
So that's live on Sky on at 3 o'clock. Right, you'll be able to watch this on Tuesday night. It's the Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel Awards. It's on Tuesday night. Let's take a look at the shortlist.
I can safely say, without Brodie in the heartbeat of this team, then we aren't where we are. He's been instrumental in every way, shape or form.
Croft bumps off Farge. Croft needs support. No, he doesn't. He's going to score a wonderful individual try. Croft going for the line. This is champagne stuff from Sulphur.
Absolutely brilliant. And the man pulling the strings once again, it's guess who? Brodie Croft.
He does things that he simply can't coach.
Field cutting through the middle. Jay Field all the way under the post. Field is away. Field, has he got the pace? They can't stop him. What a sensation this fullback is turning out to be.
He is living up to expectations.
Jay Field, if he's not scoring tries, he's creating tries. He is extraordinary. Oh, Field has broken through. Field has broken through. What a sensational season Jay Field is having.
Who knows where this kid can go? It's spectacular.
Whoa! And Wellesby will get the try. Wellesby finding the opening.
What a tackle from Wellesby on Ashton.
Wellesby for the lane.
Wellesby cut that pass and make it third. Well, the chase is on. And Wellesby, Jack Wellesby may well have got the try.
Right, good luck to Brodie Croft, Jay Field and Jack Wellesby. Kev, do you know the only man to win back-to-back Man of Steel Awards?
I've got a good idea. He's good looking.
Look, 3 deserved candidates.
Yeah, three worthy nominees, aren't they? And all, you know, different games they play. Obviously, Brodie Croft, he's instrumental for Salford and the year that they've had. Obviously, making the playoffs, and obviously we know he's not going to be there on Friday, but what a year he's had. Jai Field is obviously, you know, he set Super League on fire, didn't he, from the beginning of the year, and I think his relationship with Bevan French, he just brought a different kind of threat into that Wigan attack, and you know, Wigan have had an outstanding year. Jack Wellesby is just a born player, isn't he? He's just a natural talent. What I like about Jack is, you know, he come in at full-back, he took the role from Lachlan Coote, but he's had to step up into the halves, obviously when Lewis Dodd, you know, got injured, and he's took on responsibility there, and I think he's, again, you know, he's managed to change his game to suit that position, take on responsibility, and is, again, another outstanding. 3 worthy candidates for me.
Yeah, I've got so much admiration for Jack Wellesby, what he's done at such a young age. But for me, I just feel Jay Field's had the biggest influence on his team. At Saints, he's backed up pretty well by Lomax and, you know, Roby, and they let him do his thing. You know, Brodie Croft, I think the back end of the season, probably the second half, he's been fantastic. But Jay Field, I just feel he's, since day one, in the Cup, in the league, he's just been sensational. So good to watch, so frightening to defend against him, sure. And when he gets away, Bevan French is the only one that keeps up with him. So they link up so well.
What a threat they are together, aren't they? You know, you put them two together on one defender, and it's an headache for any defender. And for me, Jai Field is the outstanding one.
Well, we'll find out on Tuesday night who gets the Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel. And it's time now for Try of the Week.
Welcome to Try of the Week. I'm Ross Fiddies, and here are this week's contenders. Try number 1, and it's a League One playoff eliminator. Rochdale versus Oldham. And Oldham on the attack here. It's not the best kick, but Owen Restall follows up with the grubber. Rochdale fumble it. Restall picks up, and he crosses over again for another Try of the Week. Try number 2, and we stick with the League One playoffs. It's North Wales Crusaders versus Doncaster. Doncaster dominating this first half, and Tom Halliday weaving his way through the defence. Jason Talley collects and passes to Travis Corrigan on the edge. It's Corrigan making a break for it here, but he puts the brakes on as he meets the Crusaders' defence. He's away again though, and it's a length of the field try for Travis Corrigan. To the championship for try number 3, Batley hoping to put some points on the board here as Hooley goes for a long kick downfield straight from the scrum. It's chased down by Caleb Aitkins, who collects for Lee. He spins around and makes his way back downfield, brushing off one defender at a time. He's making some meters now and passes it back to Nenny McDonald. Nenny McDonald charging down the field of play here, and there's not a bulldog that can stop him now. McDonald's away and he touches down for Lee. Try number 4, and we're down to London with the Barrow Raiders hoping to secure a home playoff fixture. Maludi with the ball here, but he's got his partner in crime on the outside. The pass is timed well, and it's Ritson on the edge. Well, we all know what happens now. Ritson charges down the line. He's been doing it all year, and he dives over again. It's another T. Ritson try of the week. Up to Whitehaven for try number 5, and it's Newcastle Thunder on the attack here. Craig Mullen with the ball to Ellis Robson with a quick pass to Gideon Boafo. Boafo collects well and spots a gap. He's away here and he's got Josh Eaves in support. It's a pass on the inside and Eaves crosses over under the sticks. Try number 6, and it's York City Knights against Workington. Matty Marsh with a short pass to Glover, who runs onto the ball at speed. He slices through the defence, and it's a lovely dummy pass to send Glover over for York City Knights. Try number 7, and it's the PDRL Finals Day Festival. It's a high kick from Warrington, and the fullback at Wigan cuts across field. He's making some meters here and passes back on the inside as Wigan look to make their mark. Wigan have dominated this first half and they look to be away again here, and it's Davis with the ball now. It's a missed tackle from Warrington, and Wigan have a choice of 5 players here. Davis passes to Tranter and Tranter crosses over for a TRY for Wigan. To the Super League playoffs for try number 8, and it's Liam Sutcliffe with the break for Leeds Rhinos. Quick hands to Myler, but back on the inside to Sutcliffe, and he crosses over for his first of 3 tries. And finally, try number 9, Salford making their mark on the Super League playoffs. It's Andy Ackers who's away here, and look at that dummy pass. Huddersfield are stumped, and Ackers crosses over in front of the Red Devils army. Look at that dummy there, it's textbook stuff, and he touches down to take Salford through to the semis. 9 tries, but only 1 winner. Head to the R-League app now to vote for your favourite.
Yeah, vote for your favourite. Bit of news, by the way. We knew that Willie Poaching had left Wakefield. Mark Applegarth will take over as head coach. You know him?
Yeah, great lad. Mash, he's he's earned his stripes. You know, he's been head of youth at Wakefield for a long time. He's worked his way through the academy reserves and was obviously assistant to Willie Poaching last year with the first team. Great coach, great lad, and I'm sure he'll do a top job for Wakey.
Right, lads, I've enjoyed your company. Well, who are we going to be building up to next week in the grand final?
Saints Wigan.
Saints Wigan.
There we are. Old Trafford on Saturday the 24th of September. Thanks to the fellas, thanks for watching. And Rugby League once again this weekend will pay its respects to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Goodbye.
Celebrate 25 years of grand final glory.
Robinson, what a try!
The culmination of the Betfred Super League season. At the iconic Old Trafford. Bring on the atmosphere. Bring on breathtaking moments. Bring on history. Betfred Super League Grand Final. Bring it on.